So continuing with our third unit, that is shallow foundations. Okay, we had left at pressure distribution of various shallow foundations. Now we are going to do proportioning of footings. What do you mean by proportioning of footings? Here in the image, what can you see? It's a trapezoidal foundation, trapezoidal combined footing. Okay, so there is a column here and there's a column here. Okay, this column is having heavier load, this column is having lesser load. How do you know that? We know that because obviously the size of this column is bigger. So a bigger column is obviously going to take a larger size of larger amount of load. Also we can see the size of footing. Okay, the area that is supporting this particular footing, this particular column here, it's much bigger than the area that is supported here. So that's how we know that these are two different columns having two different loads. Okay, what we're trying to do is we're trying to find out the dimensions of this foundation. That is called proportioning of the footings. Okay, so we're trying to find out the value of this B, value of this A. Okay, let's start first with the basics. What is the area of this particular foundation? It's a trapezoidal foundation. How do we write the area of a trapezoid? Given as A plus B upon 2 into length. So this is B, this is A, and the distance between these two parallel sides will be L. Okay, we can also rewrite this as P1 plus P2 upon QS. Now what is P1 and P2? Look at this figure. P1 is the load that is coming on the column 1. P2 is the load that is coming on column 2. QS is allowable bearing pressure or bearing capacity. Okay, so once we know this, now what we are doing, we are taking area about the center of column 1. What do we get if I am taking area about the center of column 1? We get P1 plus P2, that will be the total reaction. Where will the total reaction act? It will act at the centroid. The centroid is given as distance of centroid from the P1 column, okay, is given as x dash, okay, is equal to P2 L2. L1, sorry, P2 is acting here. It is at a distance L1 from P1. So what is this equation? Basically, we are taking moments about C1. Okay, or you can say about center of C1. Okay, so in other words, we get x dash is equal to P2 L1 upon P1 plus P2. Now, if I'm trying to find out location of this centroid, okay, x bar, what is the location given in this figures? X bar from the edge B, then this x bar will be what? What will be the equation for x bar? This x dash, you can see x dash plus I have to add this distance, correct? What is this distance? I will write it as C1 upon 2. The full column width is C1, right? So I will write C1 upon 2 plus P2 L1 upon P1 plus P2. Okay, from the fundamentals of geometry, we already know this value will be equal to, when did you all study this? We studied this in mechanics. Okay, this is the equation for centroid of a trapezium, correct? So now we got this by taking moments and then adding C1 by 2, and this is from our fundamentals of mechanics, what we know about the centroid of a trapezium. Now what we are doing, we are just equating both the equations. So what do we get? I have just rewritten what we had obtained. This we got from mechanics. This we got by taking moments about the center of C1. I am equating to. Now, if you look at the right hand side and if you look at the left hand side, A and B, that is the size of foundation. You remember what was A and B? A and B was, this is B, this is A. So, these both the things we don't know, correct? Whereas, if you look at right hand side, the loads that are coming on the column and the distance between the column L1, Okay, the dimension of the column, all these things are fixed. Correct? These are all fixed. So once I know this right hand side, by trial and error, I can fix A and B. You will not get directly A. You will get a value for this entire thing. Trial and error, you can get a suitable A and B. Now, once you know A and B, the pressure intensities can be calculated. That is Q1 is equal to B into QS. What is QS? Allowable bearing pressure. Q2 is equal to A into QS. Okay. Now, once you know this, what do you come to know? You got the value of this Q1, you got the value of Q2, you get the pressure distribution diagram. Okay. Also, you can draw the bending moment and shear force diagram with this knowledge. Okay. So now for a rectangular combined footing, the value of X bar will be L by 2. Okay. Now, if A is 0, this is a very theoretical thing which will never happen, okay? But in the book it is given, so I will explain you all. If A is 0, then this trapezoidal footing reduces to a triangular footing. The value of A is 0, correct? So then in that case, so if A is equal to 0, then X bar will be equal to L by 3, but this is a very theoretical case. Okay, now you all are expected to know this. Okay, for exams, you all will be given the dimensions of the column, you all will be given the values of the loads, and you will be given the bearing capacity. You will have to determine this A and B by trial and error method. Okay, so there is nothing to memorize in this. This is this L bar equation you all have already learned. This is from the direct moment equation, correct? So there is nothing to memorize. But for exam, you will be told that there is a combined footing with two columns having so and so loads. Okay, P1, P2, then this so and so is the this thing. What is it called? The allowable bearing pressure is given to you, and the value of L will be told to you. Okay, or value of L1 will be told to you. So knowing all these things, you will have to find out A and B, that is proportioning of footing. Okay, so we'll stop here.